Facebook. It's like YouTube usually takes a little bit longer. All right, we're live everywhere.
What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? My name is Jamie Williams. Tonight, I will be your hostess with the mostest, and you have just given yourself a treat. Do you want to know what that treat is? You stumbled into the Berkeley Slam Battle of the Ages. Snap it up, y'all. Snap it up. Snap it up. Shout out to RichOak. Shout out to Spark Poetry. Shout out to Bay Area Creative. If you don't know what's going to happen tonight, allow me to enlighten you. Tonight is a very special night. It's not just your average poetry slam. Tonight is an intergenerational poetry slam. That means you'll be hearing poems from elementary students, high school students, middle school students, and adults. It is going to be bananas, and I am so excited to be your host tonight. Before we start going, I want to get some things out the way. I want to give a couple of thank yous. Tonight's show is brought to you by our supporters on Patreon. Over the last year, the monthly donors have been holding it down and ensuring that we are able to artistically and financially support the poets, artists, and educators that we bring to the virtual stages. So snap it up, y'all. Snap it up to everybody on Patreon. Thank you so much. None of this would be possible or sustainable if it wasn't for your continued support. Speaking of the Patreon, before we start tonight's show, I want to give a couple of thank yous. In particular, I want to thank Eliznami, Melody Montgomery, John, Stephanie Y, Renee Edmonds, Emily Chow, and Kalili for being regulars. I also want to give a thank you to Jessica for sponsoring one of the weekly workshops, and a special thanks to Alice Grimm for pledging $100 a month in support to our venue, the Allen Bluford Center. That is amazing. Thank you, everybody, so much for continuing to support the arts. Our average donation is about $11 a month. So that means that for less than the price of a Netflix subscription, you can be supporting a global literary and performing arts movement. If you enjoy what you're going to see here tonight, what you're going to hear tonight, what you are going to feel tonight in the liberation of third world people, head over to patreon.com/RichOak Events. I'm going to say that one more time. Head over to patreon.com/RichOak Events. Currently, RichOak is in the middle of their GoFundMe campaign while they are trying to raise $5,000 to continue all the amazing work that they are doing. We know that the pandemic has affected everyone and it continues to affect businesses. So if you guys can support, please do so, because we love making this show free. We love paying for the amazing features. We love paying poets. So make sure that you do that. To do that, head over to gofundme.com/f/support-rich-oak. I know that was a lot. Don't worry. The crew is going to put that in the chat for you. But all you got to do is check out the websites, man. You got to check out the social medias, and I guarantee that you will find it there. Again, please support the GoFundMe. Thank you all for your continued support. A couple of other things before we start. RichOak Events is in partnership with Bay Area Creative, and tonight we bring you Battle of the Ages. Like I said, this is going to be such an amazing show. Before we start, I got a couple of rules. And I know you guys are like, this is poetry. Why do we have rules? But we have rules, so there's no anarchy. This is not the annual Anarchy Slam. If you want that, time travel to December, give me a birthday gift, give Santa a high five, and check out the Anarchy Slam. But tonight, we have rules. Poets, these are the rules for you. Poets have 3 minutes and 30 seconds to share whatever they like with the 10-second grace period. But you can't use props or musical accompaniments. If you start going over that 10-second grace period, you might get docked down points, and you don't want to get docked down points. You want your team to win. So please, please, please be mindful of your time. Also tonight, topics will be touching on a range of topics. You can give content or trigger warnings, and your time will not start. Because those things are important, right? Prep the room for what's about to happen. Give people the space to walk out if they need to walk out. So content and trigger warnings and mic checks are totally okay. But your time will start the moments you interact with the audience. So if you say something like, hey guys, this is Mike from New Jersey. I wrote this poem while I was in the hospital on September 48, 1932. Guess what? Your time has already started. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just hop in the poem, y'all. Just hop in the poem. It's like driving. You know, when you drive a car, you can't be timid. You just got to hop in the car and go for it. So your time will start the moment you start interacting with the audience. Poets, if you want to switch the order of your bouts, please let the bout manager know 2 poems ahead of your turn. If you let us know 2 poems ahead of your turn, we will honor that switch. If it's less than 2 poets, I'm sorry, but we got to make our job easier on ourselves. Poets, one last rule. Hype each other up, y'all. We are here to listen to poems, right? If somebody says something you like, you can snap. Even though I can't hear it, go ahead and snap. Go ahead and snap. You can say, go ahead, try it. Like your grandma just make that good mac and cheese with a little quarter piece on. I can't even tell y'all. So hype each other up. After somebody finishes, show them love. Be like, go in, poet. Do air horns. Just don't do it during their turn. Please stay on mute during their turn. Those are all the rules for the poets. Judges, we got a couple of rules for you too. Judges are going to score each poem on a scale of 0.0 to 10.0 with decimal points. I usually say give 5 points for performance. So how did they perform? Was it memorized? Did they have to read it off a piece of paper? Were they like looking over here? Could you see their face? Or were they like engaged? Were they like I am, like all up in the mic, right? So 5 points for performance. And then the other 5 points for writing. How important was that poem? Was that poem something you needed to hear? Something the world needed to hear? We also encourage you to use those decimals. You can give an 8.5, you can give a 9.1, you can give a 7.3. The decimals you give us, they help us make sure that there's not ties, because nobody likes ties. All that we ask is that you stay consistent. Throughout the night, some poems will go, people will start getting excited. So the first poet might get like a 2.3 and have an amazing poem, but the last poem might be, like Fergie singing at the anthem, it might get like a 9.8. So please stay consistent. Remember the scores that you gave earlier. Please stay consistent. Also, we're going to have a calibration poet for you. Right? We're going to have a poet go before these other poems go to kind of get you in the mood, to make you a pro at judging, right? This calibration poet will not be in the slam, but you can still score them like they are in the slam. Everybody you hear after, if you like them better, score higher. You don't like them as much, score lower. But just please stay consistent. And finally, audience. Yes, I'm talking to you on the other side of that screen. You also have rules tonight. We want to make sure that this show gets out to as many people as possible. So like, share, and subscribe, right? Get the word out. You can follow us on IG and in Twitter at RichOak Alchemy, at Oakland Slam, and at Berkeley Slam. Please, y'all, hype us up. Tell your friends. Tonight, the poetry is about to happen. We ain't even start yet, so if you share right now, they can get here in time for all of the poems. Also, audience, I can't say this enough. If you can donate, please donate. This show has been working the whole quarantine. RichOak Events has been doing like multiple shows a month. And it's because people support us, right? It's because that average of $11 a month that people give out through Patreon. So make sure you hit up that Patreon at RichOak Events. Please do that. And one more thing I gotta say, everybody, tonight is all about freedom of speech, right? You can say whatever you want, but freedom of speech does not mean freedom from accountability, right? So if you say something, please be prepared to have a conversation about that, right? Please be mindful of the words you can say. Like, yes, you can say anything, but, don't be a mean person. Don't be a jerk. So Now that we got all that stuff out the way, I want to let you guys know who are performing tonight. This is where things get really, really fun. We got 4 different teams competing tonight. The first team is Freedom Kids, y'all. Snap it up for that name. Snap it up. I love that. Freedom Kids, Freedom Kids. The second thing, also FDK. You know, sometimes we like to shorten things out, FDK. We also got the high school and middle school team. We also got the elementary team. And we got the Spark coaches, right? So that's how we're going to do this. That's how we're going to do this. Let me read you guys the order of who's going to go in the first round. There's something I like to do that I used to do when I host shows live. I can't really do it through Zoom, but I hope that you help me out. Can y'all help me out? I know this is like really Dora-ish right now, where I'm speaking to everybody and you guys aren't really speaking back to me, but here's what I want you to do. I'm going to say the people who are going to go first in the first round, and I want you to say, woo, after each person, right? So it's going to go Colin, woo, Kai, woo, Ruth, woo, and Mike, woo. Snap it up, y'all, snap it up, snap it up, snap it up, y'all. We are about to hop into this slam, but before we do that, we got a calibration poet. So judges, like I said, this person will not be in the slam, but we want you to judge them like they are. Without further ado, y'all, let's hop into this poetry. Let's have a good night. And let's just be wowed by all of the amazing poetry that the youth has written. On deck, we got Colin from FDK. On deck means that you're not performing right now, but you're next after the person who's about to perform. So on deck, we have Colin from FDK, but coming to the stage right now to calibrate, to get us worked up. Y'all snap it up. Y'all show some love for Nicole Tracy.
Mic check.
We can hear you.
Content warning for anti-Asian hate. America loved everyone until they could not make them American. You can't drop letters from my last name and have me look more like I belong here. We were here, we were here, we were here. America wants first generation to mean first to forget where you come from, first to call yourself American and nothing to come before it. First to forget Angel Island or Manzanar is part of your family history. America wants to forget their own history, exploitative labor, systemic oppression, forget their foundation of selective freedom, selective justice, and violent racism. America wants me to forget and apologize to them instead of demanding reparations. We were here, we were here, we were here. America loved me as the model minority until it didn't. America loved me until I spoke up, until I stopped smiling, until I said no. I am here, I am here, I am here. America said they loved me at the same time the news rolled with China virus, Kung flu, and hate crimes. America says, forget the yellow peril. Forget we called you terrorist and traitor and you're not a citizen anymore. Just forget, just forget, just forget. I wait at the metro for my morning commute and a man sees me, thinks outsider, forces his way into my space and opens his mouth to ask, did you see on the news Orientals are facing discrimination because of the flu? And this is before Atlanta and San Francisco. I am quiet. I hold my breath. I do not exhale. I do not cough. I do not tell him that it has gone on for over a year. He tells me he wants to witness violence so he can be the one to intervene and stop it. All I hear is, I shouldn't be afraid. I'm not the one he wants to inflict violence on.
Nice, y'all. Snap it up. Snap it up. That was such an amazing way to start this poem. Thank you so much, Nicole. Thank you so much. And guys, I made a mistake. It's so hard to be hosting over Zoom. Up first, actually, is the Spark coaches team, and Mike will be going first. On deck is Colin, right? On deck is Colin. So Mike, come to the stage, bring your gifts, spit that fire, good sir. And Colin, you are on deck coming up next. But y'all, show some love for Mike Taylor. Burr, 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 burr.
Woo! Yeah. All right. Mic check. Thumbs up.
We can hear you.
Hear me? Thumbs up.
We can hear you.
In third grade art class, the teacher passed out crayons for us to draw the blueprints for our future house. A sheet of construction paper would hold all the rooms we wanted. So I picked up a black crayon, and the first thing I made was a movie theater. And then a zip line from a patio to a pool with a slide and a sauna and a pond with koi and a trampoline on the bottom floor so I could bounce up to my snack room or up to the arcade, and my house was gonna be lit. All the kids in the neighborhood would come over for sleepovers, and we'd have blanket forts and Nerf gun battles with darts whizzing from one side of the house to the other side. The house would be big enough for anyone who needed to stay for a while. There'd be a room for my cousin and her 3 girls that wasn't the cluttered backseat of a car. I'd have a room for my mom with a California king-size bed made for a queen who spent more time at work than at home to build a foundation for my brother and I. There'd be room for all the Black families not granted loans to claim houses in the suburbs in the 50s. There'd be an indoor gun range to blast holes in the policies that make prison work free labor instead of rehabilitation. My future home won't hold the cold bars of a jail cell. There'd be a room for every homeless person, every PTSD war vet, untreated mental case survivor. Maybe they bounce back up after hitting the trampoline on the bottom floor. There'd be a library with a history section written by the voices of artists and activists and musicians and field hands not allowed to read, but still, we learned letters in the dirt until everything we wrote became a shovel to tunnel out. In my home, there'd be room for all the slaves who ran to candlelit safe houses. This would be a safe house, a railroad for those looking for some sort of roof to shelter us from the rent hikes. America is a house built by slaves on a graveyard. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness was only guaranteed for property owners. And I was never meant to have 4 walls and a roof to call my own, but I'm renting freedom until I can build a home with a fridge big enough to feed a movement. In my house, there will be a garden that grows boys with patience, work ethic, and respect for women. There will be an even playing field in the back and a track and no obstacles blocking college or other paths to success. There will be skylights that open to a broken glass ceiling where we can stop living from paycheck to hoping and stealing glances towards the sky. And one night, I will own a house. My dreams will not stay crayon blueprints in a 3rd grade art class. I will build and build and build until there is enough room for all of us to have a place to call home. Thank you.
Snap it up, y'all. Snap it up, y'all. Snap it up. Thank you so much, Mike, for being the first official person to start off this poetry slam and coming through with the fire, y'all. If you like what you heard, go ahead and snap it up. You can say, Since you at home, you can pet your dog.
Let's go.
You can sip your tea. But we're going to keep this thing going. We're going to keep this thing going, y'all. On deck, we got the Tiger League, AKA the elementary school students, and we got Ruth coming up. But coming to the stage right now from FDK, snap it up, y'all. Show some love. Give it up for Colin.
Woo! Yeah, let's ride. Let's ride.
Can you hear me?
Indeed.com.
Black boy walks down the street humming his favorite song, and white folks go pale, act like they've seen a ghost, someone dead or at least supposed to be. They want to call an exorcist, but settle for the police instead, and watch how quickly my life can come into question and how quickly a bullet becomes the answer. Everybody in this neighborhood is equipped with shotgun mouth and buckshot teeth, so I've not encountered anyone who hasn't fixed their mouth to call me dead, and now even their apologies start to feel more like a eulogy. Their guilt, just another way to quell a revolution, like they can just cry themselves into allyship. But my mama always taught me not to trust someone who only offers me remorse. Sometimes an apology is an act of violence, or at least a way to erase it. Like I know white people will apologize, but they will always expect a round of applause after, a pat on the back and a plate at the cookout. But I've been bitten by enough of these snakes to know better than to stick my hand out to feed them. I know white people will apologize, but their apologies always come in pairs. The first is from the one who called me out my name. The second is from the one who watched it all happen and said nothing. I mean, a white woman watches my life questioned in front of the house my grandmother died in and only offers her tears as a defense for her passiveness. And you know, it takes an ungodly amount of privilege to be a bystander to racism. To see my value only in hindsight, it makes me wonder how many white people will cry at my funeral without acknowledging how their hands helped close the casket. Yes, Becky's audacity fired the first bullet, but Susan's silence fired the second. Her apology fired the third. Everybody in this neighborhood is a part of the same firing squad. Mouths wide open with trigger finger tongues, locked and loaded, all of them aimed at me.
Snap it up, y'all. Woo! The poets did not come to play.
Okay.
Go.
Woo! Y'all, I got a fire extinguisher on my wall right there, and I low-key think I gotta grab it, right? And we only halfway through the first round. We got 3 more rounds to come at you. Like I said, this is an intergenerational slam, right? So what we got coming up on deck is the Dragon League, aka the middle and high school students. And coming to the stage right now is from the Tiger League. So on deck, we have Kai. But coming to the stage right now, everybody, snap it up. Show some love. Make some noise for Ruth. Bear.
Sound check. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Welcome to Cafe America, where all people are treated equally. At least that's what we're told. We only go by reservation here, so if you chose our outdoor seating area and look up, you can see smog in the air. And if you chose indoor dining, please don't worry about the cracks due to fracking. Now please, take a seat. And note that we will not serve anyone that has anything but glowing white skin and is anything but heterosexual. For our specialty cocktail today, we have oil spilling into the ocean. It's so good that it never leaves you. Now, we have 2 options for your appetizers, either racism or sexism. We have been serving these since we opened. Next, for your main course, we have a large selection of hoaxes and conspiracy theories for you to choose from, or you can make up your own. We'll add it to the menu. If you choose to have a side dish, you can select from a list of endangered animals. This could be your last chance. For dessert, an all-you-can-eat buffet of anything money can buy. We choose not to tell you about the work conditions behind these foods' production or the chemicals behind its growing. I'm supposed to inform you that the site this restaurant is on belonged to native tribes. But don't worry, we dealt with that by following traditions and pushing them out of their homeland. But it's for the American people, so it's okay. And remember, Cafe America is and will always be the best.
Woo! Let's go, Ruth! Snap it!
Woo! Come on, let's go.
That's elementary. Ruth is in elementary. Oh man! Every time I hear the youth spit poetry, it makes me think, what was I doing at that age? At that age, I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh cards, but you guys are spitting truth, talking about America and doing it very sarcastically. You know, my second language is sarcasm. So snaps up to Ruth, y'all. Snaps up to Ruth. On deck, we got the second slam. In this, not the second slam, the second round. My bad, y'all. Not the second slam. There's not a whole nother slam. We got the second round out of 4. So look forward to that. But coming to the deck right now is the representative from the Dragon League, aka the high school team. Y'all snap it up, snap it up. Make some noise for Kai.
Let's go.
Mic check.
We can hear you.
Okay, great. When I close my eyes, I restart the sound that life makes in the symphony of kids screaming, fans buzzing, lights humming, waves crashing, and the world ceases to exist for a minute or two. Until the light strips through my eyelids and it all comes rushing back, baiting me to close them again, to repeat that non-sustainable state where the first reaction is to rest and remember a life where I had to run to catch up to the speed of the world and not slow down, a time of recess and gatherings, of normalcy and sanity, at the time where the world made sense. A time of not waking up 4 minutes before I have to get into a Zoom meeting and just sitting at a screen until my eyes start sagging and I restart. Restart for another day of listening to lo-fi beats and doing nothing yet still having too much to do, and postponing my problems until it's too late to deal with them. Of passing papers to invisible people that I spent way too much time fleshing out the characters of. Another day of typing out poems that will never see the light of day. And yet, something seems so right about it. Like the bubble that was inside of me burst, breaking into a life that seems to suit me. The days fly by of books and trying things that I would never have tried before. Late nights at the computer doing what I love because school is one ladder away from my bed and the world is slowed down so I have time to catch up. And so when I close my eyes, I restart. I get ready for another day of ups and downs. As the last light strips through my eyelids, I fall asleep.
Snap it up, y'all. Clap it up. Show some love for Kai, y'all. Let's give a big round of
Let's
applause.
go. Gang, 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 gang.
Yeah, Kai.
Oh, I wish y'all can see the chats, y'all. There's so much love in the chats for all of these incredible, amazing poets. So that was round one. Everybody from every team has performed. We got 3 more rounds at you. While we figure out who's coming in the next round, what order that is, I kind of want to make a quick announcement. Tonight, we have a very, very amazing poet featuring Anita D. But if you want to hear their poems, you got to wait. But you could have also came to the Make Gold writing workshops. RichOak Events also host writing workshops. If you love the poems that you hear, if you also want to come through and write poems, you can sign up through Eventbrite. To find out more information about that, just go to linktree.com/RichOak Events. That's linktree.com/RichOak Events. You can find out, what writing workshops are happening. You can also maybe figure out what other slams are happening because there's so many slams, y'all. And honestly, that first round blew me away. I don't even know what to say. Like I said, every time the youth performs poems, I'm just like, what was I doing at that age? And when I was Kai's age, I was getting suspended for climbing on the roof of my school, right? But it's amazing how Kai is spitting amazing, dope poetry. So it's like the millennials and Gen Z, we were doing very different things, but you all are on the right track. And I'm so looking forward to what everybody has to offer. In the round 2 sent by Mike Taylor, I see that we don't have another, there's a team missing, FDK. Yeah, y'all, we also lost a judge. I'm so sorry, y'all, we lost a judge. Oh, never mind. The judge is back. We're good.
We're waiting on a score. We're waiting on a score right now, so we don't actually know the order yet.
So while we're waiting on the score, y'all, I just want to take this time to say, I hope that y'all doing good in the pandemic. I really hope that. It's been a hard year for everybody. We've been in the pandemic for a whole month. I hope that y'all are taking care of yourself. And sometimes poetry is the way that we do that. So if you really want to write poetry, come through. Like really come through to the Make Gold writing workshops. There's also other incredible shows put on by RichOak Events. You can check out the Berkeley Poetry Slam. You can check out RichOak. You can check out the Oakland Slam, y'all. There's so much poetry happening in y'all area. Make sure you tap in with your community. And also, what I love about the pandemic, even though like 98 of the pandemic has been like, we get to have shows like this where people could be watching from everywhere, right? The feature that we have, Anita D, doesn't live in California, at least not to my knowledge. So it's really cool that we get to bring in amazing performers from all over the world just for you guys. But you can help us out by donating, right? You can really help us out by donating. We're still waiting for the scores on round 2. So I guess now is another good time to do some more announcements. I keep talking about these slams, right? The slams that you can check out. You can also follow them. right? Before I like to go to something, I usually like to, check it out. I like to see what the review's talking about. That's all social media is. You can follow all these different amazing slams at Berkeley Slam, like at the sign, at Berkeley Slam, at Oakland Slam, and at RichOak Alchemy. Also, the collective that posts amazing poems on YouTube is called Bay Poets Unite. If you want to see some amazing, incredible poems from people in the Bay Area just performing their hearts out, I highly, highly suggest that you subscribe to Bay Poets Unite. Currently, RichOak is on hiatus for April, but we still have the Make Gold writing workshops. So make sure you check that out and come through. We're still waiting. We got the order for FDK, but we're still tabulating scores, y'all. Crew, is it okay if I bust a poem to pass the time? Is that okay? Never mind. We got this, crew. We got the order. So this will be the order of the second round. I want to do the woo thing again after I say, a team, you say woo. So coming up first, we got the elementary class, AKA the Tiger League. Woo! We got the Spark coaches. Woo! We got FDK. Woo! And then we got the middle and high school club, AKA the Dragon League. Woo! So I am so excited to hear these amazing poets perform. So coming up first, we got KO, right? That's for the elementary group. But coming up on deck, we have Bree Blue. So Bree Blue, you are on deck. But coming to the stage right now, the first poet in the second round is KO. Bam, 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 bam. Don't be surprised if you got another poem.
That's my student.
Sound check. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Another day in school. I see the teacher getting ready to start a boring capitalization and punctuation pop quiz. The most helpful, stressful, boring, yet the most very important thing in the world, exclamation mark. It has its ups and downs, just like me. We all make mistakes. And I wish I could just take the pink eraser sitting on my desk and get rid of the things that I've done and said and make it disappear like a magic wand used in Disney movies. Another old day listening to a teacher and having to color inside the lines, having to follow rules, making sure I get the highest grade possible just so everyone can look it down upon me like a queen. It doesn't work like that. We're not perfect, though we want to be the closest to perfection as possible. Hold on, it's not all miserable and torture we think it is, right? There are those times where you feel like you're at the top of the world, that everything will be perfectly fine. It's that adrenaline rush, like when you finally make the basketball go through the hoop for the first time, or when you finally reach a goal you've been working so hard to complete for years and years. I've been working so hard on trying to keep a steady grade, and it looks like my work is paying off. And it's just like when life tries to throw you a hard problem, but you end up solving it and beating it like a killer ninja. I'm so excited for the school day to be over, but one thing first, I need to finish up my homework.
Snap it up, y'all. Snap it up for KO. Like I said, coming through with the ones and twos, the crosses, the uppercuts, but only using words. That is so amazing. Thank you, KO, for coming through. And y'all, I just graduated college. I ain't got no homework. No, I'm joking. I still got to write grants and teach classes, but today isn't about me. Today is about the poet. So thank you so much, KO, for coming through and starting out the second round with a bang. So on deck from FDK, we got Damani coming up to the stage, but coming right now, make sure y'all snap, make sure y'all show some love for Bree Blue. Bam, 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 bam. Go ahead, Bree Blue, do your thing.
Teammate. What's that about?
I am whatever you say I am, because it's easier than trying to find out what I'm really supposed to be. See, I'm questioning how well I know me. Been plagued with skeletons fighting to be freed from my closets, caught up with keeping my own deeds secret, because if you really knew some of the things I've been up to, you might discredit me. Put a picture of me up next to hypocrisy, a storyteller who puts pen to paper, creatively spinning what sounds like BS to make it easier for you to digest. But if you listen to the admissions in the spaces between my words, I'm telling you, you'd hear my life story. Now, I'm just trying to decide how much of me I have to continue to hide before all that's left is a shell. A caricature of my formal self, because I'll be doggoned if I let you get too close. You see, for every side of me you see, there are at least 3 I won't reveal. I mean, what do you get when you add up pain, bitterness, anger, shame, hate, disgust, detachment, blame? You get me, but I still don't get me. So in a twisted sense of reality, how can I expect you to get me? I hold on to my past like a security blanket. Only past choices have led to insecurities like no one would believe. So my logical mind is telling me I gotta let it go. Free myself so I stop hurting, hating, lying, betraying me. But that emotional side? No, that emotional side keeps telling me to hold on. Keeps reminding me that I've been done wrong. And if I let it go, then that's like saying it was okay. Or it could have been worse. Or what makes me think I'm any better than anyone else who has a story? The truth is, see, I've allowed this to define me for far too long. See, I've decided, I've told myself I wasn't worthy of genuine happiness. Barely surviving in this abyss. Who wants to keep living like this? I put Band-Aids on open wounds and wonder why my cuts never seem to heal. I look in the mirror on occasion just to remind myself that I'm real, because sometimes I think I'm out here just existing, occupying space while feeling so out of place in my skin. I'm looking within. I need an intervention to protect me from me, because you can't make me love me, no matter how hard you try. But still, try.
Ooh, it's the endings for me, y'all. It is the endings for me. Ooh, I'm so happy I'm just hosting this and that I'm not actually in these battles, because there's some bars being spit right now. I hold on to my past like a security blanket. Y'all, that's me all day. I just be reminiscing and simping and living my Sagittarius life. But tonight isn't about me. Tonight is about the poems. So snaps up to the poet. Make sure y'all show love. We are going to keep this gravy train going. On deck from team the middle and high school team, we got Rosa. But coming to the stage right now from FDK, Freedom Kids, snap it up, show some love, make some sound for the defender of Oakland, Damani. Bam, bam, bam.
Woo! Damani demanding the money.
Woo, woo. Let's go. That's my friend.
Do that thing.
Sound check.
We can hear you.
Content warning, there's a small mention of assault, so take care of yourself. A series of lessons learned from Disney movies. Little Red Riding Hood. Wolf wants to eat a girl. Wolf wants to eat girl so badly he pretends to be a role model, a family member, a mentor. In this story, the book tells us monsters can be spotted easily. We learn the word predator, Sleeping Beauty. Girl gets drugged. Men try and save girl for a prize. Girl is prize, not human. Here we learn you just have to save someone from death to earn their love. We learn the word opportunist. I think this is the perfect metaphor for my fear of intimacy. A childhood story turning into a lesson on love. When I, not quite boy, learn what men do. How I, after the first assault, gaslit myself into Little Red Riding Hood. Somebody that let danger in their own home. Should have known the signs of a wolf, story goes. I met a boy. We agreed to go home together. Boy grew bored, so he takes and takes. In one story, I say nothing. In this one, I say everything you took, I want back, but it gets muddied in a fairy tale complex. Every problem ever presented in a Disney movie translates itself into a problem we know the hero will fix. Not the work of community, linguists, therapy, every sequel made to patch up the issue. What happens when there is no hero? Just a villain and someone waiting for the story to end. 2, I'd like to go back to the beginning. I'd like to start a new poem titled, in which I tell Disney to make a movie surrounding assault and the things they teach boys. So I walk in the office, all wide-eyed and starry night. They ask about the idea, so I say it's like Little Red Riding Hood. A wolf wants to eat a girl. Wolf wants to eat girls so badly he pretends to be a role model, a family member, a mentor, except in this story, the wolf can only have what he asks for. So when he asks for a piece of the girl and she says no, he leaves. And that's the movie. They don't like that idea. They say consent is not how you make movies. I say consent is what happens after the climax. They say besides, that's not appropriate for our audience. Assault is not a word you teach children. I say it can be. Coercion is not consent. Coercion is every language we have not yet learned to say no in. The difference between rated E and rated R is just a bit of editing. Mulan was a kid's movie about invasion of someone's homeland. I think these kids can handle a conversation about boundaries. I want a Disney movie with a soundtrack I can dance to naked and cry to in the shower. But what I want most, a scene where some character fights for their life and right before the climax, pulls out their own tooth and uses it as a sword to prove mouths can be weapons too.
Damani coming through.
Wow.
Show some love, poet. Show some love. Whew.
Let's go.
Y'all, the line that hit me, the difference between rated E and rated R is just the editing. Wow. Snaps up to that poet. Snaps up to that poet. I told y'all, I don't want to be in this competition. I'm so happy I get to host and drink my sparkling water. That's all I got to do is keep y'all hype. I don't got to do no poems. On the deck, we got the feature for tonight, Anita D. Get ready for that feature, y'all. This feature is going to be fire, I promise you. But coming to the stage right now, the last poet of round 2, meaning we are halfway through the slam. Show some love, make some noise, snap it up, clap it up for Rosa.
Let's go, poet.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you.
Speak up just a bit because I couldn't hear you that well at all.
Okay. Believe it or not, I wrote this poem when I was admitted into the ER a few weeks back, and quite honestly, I thought I was going to die. During this period, I took some time to reflect, and this is the result. I would like you guys to know that I am 16, and I've never really been educated on what to say. I go day by day pretending I'm okay, but I'm not. I feel like a robot, not being able to show compassion, empathy, feeling. I'm 16 and I've already been born numb as if it was a disease. I'm 16 and all I've asked is reasons to believe. There's a reason the trees dance in the breeze the way they do, that all religions are true, babies are born new is not as reincarnation, that we don't give out donations in church just because we feel guilty, compassion, empathy, feeling. For now, they're just words, but I have reasons to believe that one day my seeds will get down on their knees, put their sinner hands together, thank God that their mother was a failure like I did mine. I call her my mother, and yet I've never really met her. All I know is that she failed. She failed, but I'm sure she willed to her mother for help, and her mother bailed on her, and we all know what that entailed. But now I stand here because I failed, but what does it mean to not succeed? I'm here because my mother smoked weed, because my grandmother paid a deed by the devil, when all I wanted to do with my mother is level with her. Instead, I hear go hit the pedal, pushing myself for every gold medal I can possibly get until I forget everything. But since I was a baby, I was taught to hate the people that's raised me, hurt everyone that's grazed me, kill those that's shamed me, but maybe I failed. Like a millionaire, I've bought into the BS that's gotten me here, losing dear loved ones a little too near for me. It's blinded my eyesight, and now I can't see that maybe there's purpose in life, but instead I choose to fail. I failed because that knife didn't cut deep enough. Yeah, my life's been rough, but I was only taught to toughen up. Sip from that bloody sippy cup without disrupting the rhythm. But if you're anything like me, it's almost a given. All you value in life is the podium and a ribbon because your parents push you, and maybe, just maybe, you start to push yourself too. I'm standing here asking myself, what the hell else am I supposed to do? My mother failed, so I should too? Because I'm only 16 and I've already been born numb. I've succumbed to it as if it was a disease. Give me reason to believe, and maybe this time I'll allow myself to succeed.
Whoa!
Up.
Woo!
16 and a dragon coming through breathing fire. Thank you so much, Rosa. Thank you so much. I just want to highlight 2 lines that stood out to me. I go day by day pretending I'm okay, but I'm not. Sip from that bloody sippy cup without disturbing the rhythm. Y'all, that is so true. I wish that we could make it through the day with being true to ourselves, but sometimes we got to put on our faces. Sometimes we got to put on our masks. So thank you so much, Rosa, for coming through and blessing the stage with fire. Y'all, we are halfway through this Team Slam, the battle of the ages, the intergenerational battle to end all battles. And I am completely blown away by the talent that the youth have, that the adults have. What you didn't know is that a lot of these adults performing are the people who taught the youth how to do poetry. So imagine that. That's like going head to head with like one of your teachers, but it's all love and it's all fun. On deck, we have round number 3. On deck, we have round 3. But right now, we have the amazing feature, Anita D. And let me tell y'all about Anita D. Anita D is a nationally ranked spoken word artist and slam poet born and raised in Brockton, Massachusetts. She is a 2-time member of the San Diego Poetry Slam team and 1-time member of the House Slam team of Boston. Her work has a heavy focus on personal narrative and generational healing. She also uses her platform to advocate for mental health awareness and women's safety in the community. Anita's accolades include placing 2nd at the National Poetry Slam, 5th at the National Poetry Slam, 3rd at the Individual World Poetry Slam, and 16th at the Women of the World Poetry Slam. However, her biggest achievement in life thus far is her journey towards motherhood as she prepares for her son's arrival in July. Y'all, I can't even tell y'all how excited I am to see Anita D perform tonight. I've been watching a lot of her poems on YouTube, so y'all are in for a treat. Without further ado, snap it up, make some noise, go crazy, go crazy, go crazy for Anita D. Bam, 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 bam.
Hey. Let's go.
Hi, thank you so much. Thank you, yo. Shout out to Jamie for being an amazing host and just keeping the energy alive. I'm very pregnant, which means I'm very tired. And every time you come on, I just get more and more awake. Thank you so much for having me. RichOak Slam, Berkeley Slam. I love the Bay. I love y'all so much. Every time I do anything with y'all, it's all love. This is my baby. He's still cooking. I'm about 5.5 months, so he'll be making his entrance into the world in July. I'm just gonna hop right into it and do my favorite poem because I'm nervous for whatever reason, even though I am at home and I've done this for a long time. I still get nervous every single time I do it. So I'm just gonna do the poem so I stop saying so much and then we can get into some newer stuff. Modern day tattooing involves a small handheld machine powered by electricity. The device drives needles in and out of the top layers of the skin at a rate of 80 to 150 times per second. Ink is injected under the epidermis, leaving a change in pigment and a fixed mark on the body. Now, to some people, this can be a painful process, but I don't mind it. I think it feels like tiny daggers are dancing across my skin, carving battle scars with every twirl and two-step. You see, I know that it hurts, but it's what comes out of the pain that makes me feel safe. A lot of people see tattoos as pieces of art or get them as some form of expression. I get tattoos because it is the only form of pain I know how to control. They are the only torn parts of me that I get to color in and make pretty again. I get tattoos as a form of therapy, as a form of self-harm, as a form of healing. I get tattoos to distract the people I get close to. Like if I tell you about these scars, maybe you won't ask about the ones you can't see. Maybe you won't notice how crippled my smiles are or how heavy my shoulders sit. Instead, you'll look at me and see art. You'll take notice to the small details in white ink. Remind me there is always a little light in darkness and how important it is to recognize this. I hope they tell me this on the days my smile doesn't make it out of bed. And on the evenings, I am too tired to keep trying. I want my tattoos to inspire dialogue between strangers. How poetic would it be to witness a failed suicide attempt birth life into a conversation? I get tattoos because I am still here. Because maybe if I paint my scars pretty, I know I did not just drop the end of this poem because this baby kicked me in the uterus. I apologize, y'all. I'm gonna blame my baby because he was kicking me in the bladder. You know what? I am so sorry. I have pregnant brain. And I'm gonna blame Moon for this one, but I will not drop another poem tonight. Yeah, the last 3 lines really just escaped my brain. I'm so sorry.
We love you. We love you.
This is
And
what
the
your
great-
thing.
I love y'all too. I told you I was nervous. Okay.
Bask in the imperfections.
So, happy National Poetry Month also. I host this is the last year I'm doing it, but I host a writing group on Facebook where I just post prompts every day. And this year I'm posting like poems and discussion questions and hosting open mics with the group on the weekends. And so I've only written 1 poem so far. It's only the 3rd, so I'm not too far behind. But I do want to share this poem as kind of like a buffer before I get into, stop kicking me, before I get into the next few poems that are a little heavier. One of the prompts for the first day was write a poem from the perspective of a cloud when it is raining or when it storms. There are days that say, I ruined them. Say darkness tends to follow me wherever I go. They rather I be scarce, spread myself thin enough to see through, or simply not show up at all. Most days, I'm labeled a threatening thing. Sometimes I suppose I can be a violent bombardment of emotions, pouring everything out at once. I tend to have thunderous episodes of depression. I'm sorry. I can't always hold my feelings. I can't always be the soft thing quickly passing by. Sometimes I need the whole day to cry. And this does not make me a reckoning storm, just another natural living thing. Have you ever noticed how green the land is after the rain falls? How soft the air becomes and how it smells of a new beginning? Do you ever stop to thank the clouds for their sacrifice? That's all. Just a quick buffer so I can get my brain back. So I'm gonna take y'all on a little journey of, I guess, family, some family trauma, but also healing through that trauma. Like Jamie said, a lot of my work does focus on personal narrative and generational healing. And so I want to kind of give an older poem for perspective, and then the newer poems that I'm working on that focus more on healing. And yeah, here we go. Some of my favorite shows growing up as a kid were The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Family Matters. Now, aside from them being both classic sitcoms and hilarious, both shows centered around families I just wish I could have been a part of. See, neither the Banks nor the Winslows were perfect. They each had their fair share of problems and they argued, but they always seemed to settle their disagreements by sitting down, talking to each other, and coming up with solutions that benefit all the people involved. My family is not like the sitcoms. Growing up in my house was like waking up every day in a minefield. We had to be cautious and walk carefully around our issues or everything would start to explode. My family has a basement full of damaged memories and closets overflowing with empty liquor bottles echoing secrets. I've heard whispers of cheating husbands and abortions, but they always seem to get swept under the rug. And I suppose this is how I learned to be a hoarder, how I was taught to gather all of this hurt and still keep it hidden from everyone. My family says not every story belongs on a stage, says the narrative we give should only focus on the good moments. When I broke character and tried to overdose, they closed the curtains. When I wrote poems about being abused, they tried to cut my mic off. When I told my story anyways, my father said I needed to act right. And my father, such a bold character is he, that walking demolition. I still don't know if he's a proud man filled with stubborn and anger or a troubled boy who buries his fear in the palm of his hands. I've watched him as he bulldozes his fists through every hallway of every house, and I hold the days when I can tell myself, at least it's not my mother this time. At least he never got to me, and I can only hope that the holes in the wall will serve as some type of metaphor for all of the pain trying to escape. But mommy doesn't like a messy home. So we hang picture frames up all over the house and say, look at how happy we are in the photo. Don't pick it up. It looks perfect, exactly where it is. And despite all the destruction behind us, we just keep smiling. We keep silent. We just keep cleaning up the mess and pretending this is normal. We hide it all the pain, all the secrets, all the tears, all the bruising. My family is not sitcom material, but we do know how to play our parts. We memorize our lines, we stay in character, we stick to the script, and we never expose what happens behind the scenes. See, I used to want a family like the ones I saw on TV. I just wanted to be happy, like the Banks or the Winslows. And then I realized it's just a TV show. But maybe my family is like theirs. See, they're all actors, just like us. Thank you.
Okay, so real quick to the Instagram stream, we have to restart the stream. But we will be back in a few seconds. And if you have anything you want to promote, by the way, Anita, okay, please feel free right now.
I don't really have much going on right now, other than honestly, this is my highlight of April, is doing the workshops in this feature. But I do have, for those of you who are on Facebook, I do have a group called Thriving for 30. It's Thriving for 30 2021 is the actual name of the group. But you can reach out to me. I will drop like my contact info in the chat afterwards. And if you would like to be a part of the group, I'm still accepting people. I drop 3 prompts a day. I post a video from a poet I either know or admire or both, with discussion questions. And then every Saturday, I'm hosting an open mic specifically for the group for people to share new work or share older work and give feedback on performance and writing.
We're back online.
Okay, so it's free to join. It's only, I asked for like a $10 donation or donation towards my baby registry with diapers and stuff, but it's not mandatory. It's free to join. So yeah, okay, poems. My baby is really kicking. He doesn't like this. Okay. Or maybe he does like it. I don't know what it means yet. So yeah, I right now in my life, especially with my child on the way, I am very focused and I feel almost like forced to hurry up and heal. and get through especially generational trauma. And so that has been more of my focus lately in my writing. So these next two poems are kind of like a testament to that. This is called Scarecrow. Halloween used to be one of my family's favorite holidays. We loved decorating the house and the yard. My dad used to really get into it. And by that, I mean, he used to actually be a decoration. See, he'd costume himself into a ghoulish scarecrow and then lay out on the lawn chair, wait for local trick-or-treaters to approach the house and scare the crap out of them. On occasion, he'd also scare the crap out of me. Some of the masks he wore were so terrifying, I could barely look at him. Over the years, I noticed my family slowly stopped decorating. I'm not sure if it's because my brother and I grew older, or if it's because I started to see my father turn monster more often. I mean, who needs decorations when a bottle of gin can do the trick? Be the potion or the poison that transforms a hero into a horror. Slur the tongue, the mind, and the body into a hunchback, red-eyed, staggering beast. Bring that ghoulish scarecrow back to life on every holiday, after funerals, during celebrations, on the weekends. On any given night, alcohol would creep its way into the cracks of my father's broken and create space for itself. Costume my dad into the thing that goes bump in the night. But I'm learning. My father was not born a monstrosity. He did not choose to become someone that frightens me, but somewhere between my childhood and my 30s, I lost sight of who he was beneath the scary. I blamed him for my trauma, but never considered where his came from. Never wondered how terrifying his childhood may have been. The demons he was forced to face growing up, or the ones he is still fighting today, like the bottles of liquor that haunt him at night, or the abuse he tried to drink away as a teen, or the feelings of abandonment, like losing your mother as a young boy. It's easy to ignore hurt when you aren't the one holding it. When the weight isn't yours to bear, it's easy to stand tall and say someone else is staggering. For years, I thought of my father, this horror, as if he was always this terrifying, as if he wasn't created by someone or something. I wonder if dressing up as a scarecrow was a metaphor the entire time. Like maybe my dad was trying to show us how easily we can be turned into monsters and remind us we always have the choice to take off the costume. I should have taken more time to lift up my father's mask. Realize that underneath it all, he is still human. He is still my dad. I should have tried harder to understand why he hides behind it, instead of being afraid and naming him the boogeyman. Farmers have always used scarecrows to ward off threats, to preserve the life of their crops. And so maybe my dad's costume was just his way of trying to protect us. He knows there are far more scary things in this gruesome world than he. And despite how my dad chooses to deal with his hauntings, he will always be here to defend his family. After all, we are his seeds, his crops. And ain't it a scarecrow's job to keep them safe? To watch them grow and blossom and not care if the rest of the world is afraid? Thank you. Don't cry. Someone said they're crying. I'm sorry. I love you all so much. I'm not able to look at all the comments right now, but I see them popping up. So thank you so much for all of the love. I just have a few more poems, if that's okay. I think I'm within time. I tried to practice a set earlier. So the next one, I'm just gonna hop right into it. It is a persona piece or personification. I've been confusing those. They're very similar. It's called In the Voice of My Father's Heart. There are 78 organs in the human body. And while each of us have our own job to do, there are 5 of us that are considered vital in order for the big guy to keep moving. That's brain, lungs, liver, kidneys, and me, heart. Now, he hasn't been the most kind to us over the years. He loves his salty foods. He was a heavy drinker and smoker, so that's taken a toll on us. But he's changed his diet. A few years ago, I started not doing so well. Around this same time, my youngest daughter, Anita, and Brain, they got into a few arguments and they stopped talking. Stubborn thing the mind is, to latch on to anger like a cancer, to be so selfish and not consider what that could do to the rest of the body. Doctors say psychological distress can trigger weakness in the heart muscle. One day I started to feel sluggish. I felt faint and couldn't do my job right. They diagnosed the big guy with congestive heart failure, a chronic condition with a life expectancy of less than 5 years. Says if I don't show up for work, lungs will slowly drown in blood, legs will retain fluid and swell, hypotension will start to set in. If the big guy doesn't get help quickly, we could all be dead in the matter of hours. And now Brain won't stop thinking about memories he hasn't been able to make yet. Says it's up to me to get us there, and I'm trying, but I'm sick and I'm not sure how much longer I have. Liver and lungs can't stop apologizing to me for their cravings over the years. They blame themselves for the damage. I remind them it is also my job to forgive, to love despite a fault, that we are all in this together. And kidneys are so afraid, feel so overwhelmed every time I start to slow down. When I can't find the strength to flex my valves enough, all the pressure is left on them to do the work, to filter out the overflow of blood I leave behind, and I break a little more for the body I was built to keep afloat. If I had the power to imagine, I would dream of a second chance to beat from the beginning again. Imagine the vital choices we could have made together to save this man, to give his soul another day to heal, to prosper, to love what I would give, to love all over again or forever if I could. I talk about forgiveness for the other organs, as if I myself even knows what it means to forgive another living thing outside of my own body. And still, I have yet to forgive the brain for his mistakes, still blame him for my own downfalls. Sometimes I wonder if my children's hearts have taken after me, if they palpulate more anger than joy. I bet that is the true cause. I bet that is what actually blocks the arteries. And if the congestion of animosity and pain are the true causes of heart failure, I wonder if that means I still have time to recover, to beat beyond the deadline the doctors have given me. So every day I still show up to work and hope my pulse is strong enough to let go of the past and hold on to forgiveness. I hope I'm strong enough to give the big guy a fighting chance to heal. So that's that poem. Can I do two short ones? Do I have time for that or just one more?
Yeah, you can do two more.
Okay. Actually meant to do this in the beginning of the set and I forgot. So it's getting tossed in at the end. This is a quick 1 minute. You're gonna write so many poems after this. Says every friend I've confided in. They remind me of all the new stories I can tell on stage now. Their voices riveting with excitement while mine tries to hide in the back of my throat. And when I tell them how tired I am of writing these heavy poems, how at this point, I'm not sure if I'm strong enough to keep carrying them up on stage, they remind me that I am still standing despite. And that as long as I have a voice, I need to use it. They say my words have the power to shake a room like an earthquake, that I have the ability to make people feel exactly how broken I am. And as crazy as that may sound, it's important because I am not the only one trying to piece myself back together. And there is someone that can see themselves in the shattered bits of me. So they tell me to keep writing about everything that hurts, that the pain I feel is only temporary, but the power that I can take back when I choose to speak up is timeless. Thank you. So again, I just want to thank y'all so much for having me, for showing me so much love, for being patient with me dropping my first poem and getting kicked in the bladder. Also, shout out to every single poet that's gone up so far. I can be biased because I'm not in this competition. I'm rooting for the youth, personally. I'm rooting for the babies. Y'all are killing it. Keep killing it. I mean, everybody is killing it. But I'm all here for the elementary, middle, and high schoolers. Like Jamie was saying, I don't know what I was doing at y'all's age, but it was not poetry slam. I know that for sure. So just even more shout outs to y'all and love to y'all. Keep writing, keep performing, because y'all are the next generation and you're about to take this over in a few years, or you're already taking it over. And I can't wait to continue to see it. So right now I live back in Massachusetts in my hometown with my family. But technically, because the world is closed and things are weird right now, I'm still a current member of the San Diego Slam team. And we still write and have assignments. And one of our assignments was to write an obit. And I really wanted to not write something sad. And even though like obit is like an obituary, and I'm like, I don't want to write about something sad. So I tried to do a flip. And I wrote an obit to loneliness. Loneliness died October 3rd, 2020. Funny how the creation of life can also be synonymous with death. How death does not always have to be something to mourn, but rather everything to celebrate. When my son chose me as his home, he set ablaze to the ransacked apartment lonely once slept comfortably in, built a bed for himself atop the ashes and said, "She is with me now. There is no room left for lonely to exist in this body. My brave boy, the hero I've longed for, who knew a knight in shining armor could look like a tiny heart beating inside a womb, could start off as a small cluster of cells and still be more of a man than his own father. What a proud mama I am to be raising a boy who already knows how to show up for a woman that loves him, who pulls his strength from her and knows how to immediately pour it right back in. That loneliness I once had took its last breath the day my son's heart first flickered. A flame sparked the second his spirit chose my body, and my body chose him right back. So in this house, in this body, we do not mourn the ending of a lonesome life. Instead, we praise the beginning of a new together. That's all.
Snap it up for Anita D, y'all. Snap it up for Anita D. Anita,
Let's
thank
go.
you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, everybody. I love y'all so much. I love this space.
Is there anything you want to say, Anita D, before we move on to the third round?
I just want to wish the best of luck to all of the poets competing. I can't wait to hear the rest of y'all poems. Y'all have been fire so far. I love all of you so much. Thank you for always curating a safe and comfortable space for me and everyone. I really, really appreciate what y'all do for the community so much.
Thank you. Snaps up, y'all. Snaps up. And just one more thing I gotta say. I have dropped poems for way less reasons than getting kicked in the bladder by a baby that my body was growing. Like, it's totally okay. We love all your poems. And I just want you to know that even if you did drop the poems, I've never heard that poem. It was still amazing. And I'm sure that 98% of our listeners feel the same way. Thank you. Thank you so much, Anita.
Thank you so much. I love y'all.
And for audience, If you enjoyed Anita's performance, she's going to be leading writing workshops all of April for RichOak. So make sure you tap in with that. Linktree.com/RichOak Events. Tap in, y'all. That was such an incredible set. If you want to learn from that amazing poet, make sure you tap in. Without further ado, we are going to roll into the third round out of 4. We are halfway there, y'all. We got 2 rounds left. Judges, I know it's been a minute since y'all judged, so don't even trip. We got another calibration poet coming at you. This poet is not in the slam, but I want you to judge them like they're in the slam, right? So here's what we're gonna do. On deck, we got Reggie coming from FDK, but coming to the stage right now, we got the calibration poet, the amazing, the handsome, the chocolate, the goofy, Jamie Lorenzo Williams II. It's me, y'all. It's me. So like I said, I'm really glad that I don't have to be in this competition, but I'm really glad that I get to bust out a poem. Because there's youth in the room, I'm gonna do a poem that my students love to hear. Did you know that everyone's mouth is a house? Imagine the amount of stories that stay hidden behind white picket teeth. Imagine a room full of secrets, breaking down the front door of vulnerability, ready to roll off a yard of a tongue, scientists say. We speak at least 7,000 words a day. So imagine how large that number could be if we broke free from the shackles that kept us prisoner to the past. Imagine if the last situation that sank your hope was the same cannonball you used to float towards the surface. So today, if you woke up with an anchor tugging at the veins inside of your heart, I want you to remember that your friends are not shooting stars, only to be seen for a fraction of a second. They are merely a phone call away. So call them. Say hey. Say anything that makes your head hot and your bones rattle with purpose if you need to. Slow dance with the present until you are no longer nervous. Speak. Be the loudest house during a block party. A parade of thunderbolts in the middle of a silent rainstorm. I want you to know that despite what you have been told, you are never your mistakes, even if you make a few. Every time the sun rises, you are made anew. Imagine looking in the mirror and seeing yourself as a canvas that has yet to be painted. A fresh pair of hands that have never been tainted. You are a clean slate with 7,000 chances to boost your own ego. So fly high, if only for today. Become your own hero. Pick up a pen. Begin to rewrite your story in the exact words you want to be passed down like a family heirloom at the dinner table. If only you're able, then break into your own house. Pry, open your mouth, and speak. So that's the calibration poet, y'all. That's the calibration poet. Thank you so much, judges. Make sure that you send your scores over to our scorekeeper, Chardonnay. Thank you, Chardonnay, for doing math on a Saturday night, because I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? I love hosting. So we're going to go ahead and hop into this third round. On deck, we got Patrick coming from the Spark team, but coming to the stage right now from FDK. Make some noise, snap it up, clap it up, have fun, y'all. Make some noise for Reggie.
Hey, teammate.
Can you hear me?
Indeed.com.
God reinvents the gold chain circa 2019. Last night, before bed, a Black boy in the hood got down on his knees and prayed to me for a noose that would look pretty against the black of his neck before the night swallowed him into a sleep so deep I could barely tell he was breathing. Afterwards, I melted down the stars until I could work them into the tiniest ovals, hammered a galaxy's worth together until each ringlet became a prayer that unraveled itself into an infinity of hands grasping another infinity of hands until they both became something bigger than depression. A chain is an interconnected metal link used for fastening and securing objects, and gold is a precious metal so shiny I have watched people kill each other just to see whose blood will look prettier because of it. Truth be told, every star in the night sky is the ghost of a Black boy who called out to me and got exactly the death he was looking for. So every chain in the hood got a Bible's worth of prayer, a litany of dead names holding hands until they become a Mobius of suns fastening a Black boy earthbound. Don't you dare ask me to call you home in the dead of night when I can give you all that shines in the dark blue sky, boy. There are days where you glow sunlight yellow, where you smile supernova hot. Do you expect me to braid that kind of flaming joy into a slip knot death? I can make the cool metal of a chain link feel more comfortable against your skin than any twisted cord. So let me sing into your ear while you sleep. Let me give you a sunrise hymn. And if you must be drenched in blood, let it be the ichor from my own veins. Let me pour a gold chain around your neck, each ringlet, an infinity of hope, grasping another infinity of hope until they both become a bigger prayer of please, stay alive, please, stay alive, please, stay alive. And when you look in the mirror, see yourself draped in celestial light, dripping in fly and swag. When they ask you what happened here, you tell them that you found God in the light of a golden pendant reflected in the warmth of your own body. You tell them that God is out here giving out ropes to something that you ain't even got to choke on.
Woo, y'all, snap it up, make some noise for the poet Reggie. Coming through, starting out this third round with a bang. Like somebody just said in the chats, it's the imagery for me, y'all. And it really is too. Some of them words, I ain't even know what they meant. And I be studying words. I still ain't even know what some of them words was. But snap it up for the poet, y'all. Snap it up. We gonna keep this gravy train going. On deck from the elementary team, we have Jolie. But coming to the stage right now, from Spark, you know him. If you don't, you're about to. Make some noise for Patrick! Woo!
Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
The other day, Mike and I are doing a talk on spoken word, and someone asked what the difference was between a spoken word poem and just reading from your diary. And I thought, what a great prompt. So here are some poeticized diary entries. September 16th, 2017. A wedding ceremony took place between my partner, Carrie, and me. It was a pagan artistic party ritual celebrating the grit, effort, and passion that it takes for commitment to give people wings. Our wedding vows were a duet poem. The audience was 90% drunk by the time we finished, and they shouted in unison, "Give it a 10, give it a 10, give it a 10." September 16th, 2018. At the time of our first anniversary, couples therapy helped us weave a cocoon around each other to prompt a catharsis we didn't know we needed. It reminded us of the connection that led to this union in the first place. We danced in the Sonoma County hills during a sunset and blazing music festival to Lake Street Drive's version of the Jackson 5's I Want You Back. Little did we know what it was we had lost. March 12th, 2020. I'm playing Poetry Foursquare with fourth graders at Lake Elementary in Richmond. We say a word starting with the same sound every time the ball bounces into a new square. As the sun is going down, dyeing the black top the color of the inside of our eyelids when we pray to something bigger than ourselves, kids are running from group to group, spreading the word that we won't be coming back to school for at least 3 weeks. 3 weeks spreads into a vast metamorphosis unknown in modern times. May 15th, 2020. Our cat Felix escaped again. It had been us and the fur babies face to face for 60 days. She exploded from my arms, clawing free of the precariously worn through veneer of a catharsis holding our hearts together. She flew down the street and hid under a parked car, an attempted escape we all were looking for. July 16th, 2020, Carrie and I have gone to war with each other inside the cocoon. Corpses of butterflies are pressed into the pages of our relationship that didn't emerge. September 4th, 2020. We are now in an open marriage. Carrie lets me know she would rather see her new partner on her birthday evening and weekend after that than me, and I realize we have been molting caterpillars all along and are now pupating away from each other. We agree to end the marriage lovingly and slowly, living together for another 6 months, a necessary stage to become the DNA that has always called for us to become. December 21st, 2020. I learned that my godfather's cancer has metastasized from prostate to bone to lung. He says he has a short fuse and we should all come visit him while he is still here, before he has ripped himself free of this enclosure to migrate to another plane. March 1st, 2021, I am flying down the 5 freeway to take care of him and my uncle with dementia that is so bad he keeps seeing huge groups of people coming out of the walls trying to steal his mind. Carrie and I set off in different directions. Our wedded wings became strong enough to get us out by beating against the walls of our chrysalis. March 29th, 2021, my therapist died of a sudden heart attack last Saturday. He had already woven himself into eternity with thousands of hours in meditation, and there is nothing but gratitude for having been his friend, for working with an 80-year-old man as alive as the moment we transform into our destiny. April 3rd, 2021, right now I have found peace in seeing endings as a rite of passage, an emergence from the chrysalis, a process to take flight and become.
Nice, y'all. Snap it up. Snap it up. Woo! Patrick coming through with the fire. I just want to reiterate, y'all, that poetry is so amazing because you get to speak your truth. So also make sure you're checking out those Make Gold writing workshops. If there's something that's been on your mind, something that's been on your heart, please come through, y'all. We want to hear what you got to say. We want to hold you up and we want to show y'all love. Thank you so much, Patrick, for blessing us with that fire. We're going to keep this gravy train going. We got 2 more poets in the 3rd round, and then we are headed to the 4th and final round of tonight, y'all. But we're not there yet. We're not there yet. We got 2 more poets this round. On deck, we have Peyton from the middle and high school team. But right now, right now, coming from the elementary school team, I want y'all to snap it up. I want y'all to clap it up. I want you to donate. I really want y'all to donate. Y'all should donate to RichOak. But I want y'all to make some noise for Joe Lee.
Yo!
Let's go. Let's go.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Everyone in life has their ups and downs, from the sounds or crowns of people who think they're the best or are obsessed with being mean. So many things may get you mad, from laughter about yourself or a friend to calling you names. It makes many feel with anger and holds us down like an anchor, which many are aware. Above it all, we get up. We don't let them tear through our skin. Our skin is like tin, and the bullies are just a knife. Sometimes they go through, sometimes they don't. Oftentimes our skin is strong enough and won't let anything through. Or maybe we will have no clue and let it through. But after, we will still rise. We will not regret or forget when we stand up against bullies. We can fully heal from a giant meal of insults. Some need to consult with someone. In result, some don't get up. But they will become higher than many. Even if they hurt more, they will still rise like everyone else. You should not conceal your feelings because they will just be locked up in your heart and break free dramatically. It will be catastrophe. If you don't study bullying, hopefully you won't get up from it because it won't happen. If it does happen, there's always someone that will bring you up higher than Mount Everest. Nobody needs a test for someone to know that you can rise. If anybody tells you that you can't rise up, tell them to think again.
Nice. nice, y'all. Snap it up. Look at the youth. If someone tells you you can't get up, prove them wrong. I think that my favorite line in that poem is that bullies are just a knife. Sometimes they go through, sometimes they don't. Look at the youth giving us everything that we need to remember. And I just want to remind y'all, sometimes the bully isn't even another person. Sometimes it's yourself. So be kind to yourself, y'all. It's 2021. It's time to show love to other people and to ourselves. On deck, we got the fourth and final round of the Battle of the Ages, this intergenerational slam competition, and it is going to be fire. Usually teams save their best poems for last, so you want to make sure you check out this last round. But coming to the stage right now, from the middle and high school team, I want you to snap it up. I want you to clap it up. I want you to donate. I really want you to donate. I'm going to stop saying that now. But I want you all to show some love for Peyton. Woo! Woo! I want to be just like you. Woo!
Mic check. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. Find love in crisp fall air when the leaves are just starting to turn. Find love in my friends despite never telling them because I'm scared they won't feel the same. Cats, my family, and food. Find love in writing and expressing myself through the words straight out of the dictionary that defines me. I find love in movement and dance and the way that moving your body can tell a story. Find love in music and the fact that there is a song out there for every single scenario that could ever happen. In the moments that I can stop to take a breath. The lines of a pencil and the way you can make something out of nothing. Brightness of a light bulb, I find it in words on pages that are never perfectly white. The way that cold water tastes, I find it in the click-clack of a keyboard, low whistling noise that flutes make, and the color of the sun just before it tips to the horizon, seeing things that are perfectly organized, but more than anything, find love in myself. Find love in myself. Find it in all of my imperfections and the words that have turned into scars. Find it in my smile and the way that I can never get my hair to be just right. Find in everything that I do and say and express myself with, the way my laugh sounds and the way I feel when I've just finished ranting for the millionth time that day. Find it in the straightness of my hair, the pointiness of my nose that I was always told looked bad, and my eyes that everyone says are too narrow. The words I say and the brain that comes up with them, and the way that I can never just get something done, never being able to sit still, the way that I've been able to enjoy my own company just as much as anyone else's. And the freckles that I've always been told look childish, I find love in my smile, snarky comments, the round of my glasses, the amount of pacing my feet have done and rubbing my hands together when I'm excited. I find love in every world that's told me hate.
Oh yeah, y'all. Snap it up. Snap it up. You know, that was the perfect poem to jump in what I was just saying. I was just talking about loving yourself. And of course, Peyton comes through with the amazing poem about loving yourself, right? And I really love that poem. Find love in the things that maybe it was hard for you to accept, or the things that people, try to make fun of you about, whether it be your hair, whether it be your nose, whether it be your freckles. I think that we all could use a little bit of self-love. So thank you so much, Peyton, for come through and blessing the mic, y'all. Like I said, the youth, they going crazy. A quick word before we hop into the fourth and final round. I'm pretty sure that all of these youth have went through the poetry and performance writing workshops of Bay Area Creative. Bay Area Creative is a nonprofit organization that has been teaching inside of K through 12 schools since 2008. And actually, they introduced me to spoken word poetry. They introduced some of the other organizers of tonight. They introduced a lot of the poets that you heard tonight. So if you like what you hear, make sure you check out bayareacreative.org, figure out how we're getting in touch with the community, how we're going into classes. And especially since the pandemic started, we've been able to teach in schools in Philadelphia, in LA, all over, y'all. So if you want your youth performing as amazingly as this youth are performing, I highly suggest that you do that. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and hop into the fourth and final round of tonight, y'all. I'm so sad because I want to keep hearing poems, but we got to get through it. So On deck, we have Spark Poetry. And Spark Poetry will be sending up Kev, aka Prophet Wright. So Kev, Prophet Wright, you are on deck. But coming to the stage right now from FDK, put your hands together, put your elbows together, put your tongue together for Tino! Woo, woo, I love your hair. Woo.
Oh, I am not ready. Mic check.
We can hear you.
Perfect. I hope there are enough bones in my words to hold themselves steady. The sand and just spotlight prepare them for something of this magnitude. They will shake but never misremember the stomping grounds I blossomed from. They feel like someone else's lifetime ago. Of someone's old Nike strung up in pitching cords in deep East Oakland. I hope the sun hangs there over those cords and never ages. I hope for a freeze frame of a time when everyone was under their own ceiling, as the children commemorate in their closest corner with a busted fire hydrant and call it a swimming pool. Another joy back then was enough to fertilize our front lawns for our flowers and our produce and our gardens. I hope whoever is alive between these words are alive because I am a result of their legacy, that they always grant me guidance. Yes, death is rogue and always the final route, but it doesn't mean we can't turn stone while we're still alive. Pay respect to all the ghosts that come and go. This is still their home too, as much as it is ours. My wish has always been to elicit the desire to live in my writing. There's a lifetime spent with living here and honoring the dead, a duty to fall in this cycle. I'm just starting my ancestor work early. My words, duty-ridden warrior ready. I am not dead on arrival. We are not dead on arrival, just always familiar with its presence. Hope these words make a ghost of me. Hope these bones are the only words I have left when I'm gone, that my body will compost enough to be claimed by soil. Some time ago, I buried my heart under the roots of an oak tree. Said, this is where I will stand. Long after I fall, I am done wrestling my purpose in this world. I'm just gonna keep giving back even after I'm done. I'm sorry if it comes off as martyrdom. I come from a city where bodies are dropped at the gates of my school. I'm just aware of how much infinity is snuffed from us. All the breath we draw and is still not heard today. I promise I would own each breath because this work is never done. I hope you keep writing. I hope you die with your ink still spilling from you, seeking revenge, your truth raw in your throat. So when the autopsy comes, they won't know what to make of your eternity. I hope you make this your final choice. Even when they try to rob it from you, and trust me, they will always try to rob it from you. They won't ever unearth you unless you let them, though. Hope you still blossom in your metaphor. Hope you sign yourself into everyone's memory. Hope someone honors your ink and makes a painting, a canvas, a mural out of you. I hope you stitch your story in the sky out of reach. All dead poets, a symmetry of their life told in the truth. Hope you cradle your writing when you grind across tectonic plates. Your bones are always ready for this aftermath. Keep writing.
Nice. Shout out to Tino, y'all. Shout out to Tino. It's so funny. The line I wrote down that I liked, I saw somebody else put it in the chat as well. I hope you still blossom in your metaphor. That was amazing. Especially that last line, keep writing. Y'all, it is National Poetry Writing Month. Keep writing those poetry. Come to all the writing workshops. There's also the National Poetry Writing Workshop held through Bay Area Creative. Like I said, because we're able to do it all online because of the pandemic, we're doing writing workshops for anybody. For more information about that, head over to bayareacreative.com. Write with writers from all over the United States. We're going to keep this gravy train growing, going, growing. I need more water. That's totally okay. On deck, we have Hannah. But coming to the stage right now, I want y'all to snap it up. I want y'all to clap it up. I want y'all to turn it up. I want y'all to shake it off. Make some noise for Kev, Prophet, Ride. You rap so good.
What's up, folks? The youth are getting more stoned than Medusa staring at her reflection. We about to spark an insurrection, no disrespects to presidents-elect. You selling us a message in a planet-sized recession with no medicine. No, forget you, brethren. Thanks to you, the corporations take aim at us. The world ends in a month and ain't nobody can save us. I'm tired of all this hurting and anguish. Those verses, I'm thankful, though every breath is like a surge to the pancreas. I know people doing felonies to get through the week. Who can blame them? They suffer, thus the melody's deep. I was raised on the south side where the villain is king. And God is his holy power which delivers the sting. Yo, my youth was one of knowledge of the pleasures of street. Before I speak, give me a second to speak. I refuse to be meek. Imagine you being pulled from a creek, but you refusing the illusion of peace. Because whenever the devil cries, it's never because several died. Freedom stings to an Egyptian embezzled in rebel skies. Now let the treble rise, basically. Fellows with mellow eyes and yellow sides talk of peace. But prefer it be weaponized. It's never pride that makes us brazen. Our leaders are on the binge. Clever minds, but no destruction to capture the souls of men. When the winter solstice opens, ghetto hopelessness is potent. Listen up. I'm gonna supply you with the potion right before a drone hits. With the persistence of a predator loan, automatic precision snipers make sure you'll never see home. Like the debt that you put us in with smooth deception is home. Your elections don't change the truth, dog. You neglected your own, so let the record be shown. If you target the facts, the government just waged the war. Freedom's the heart of attack. They raped and poisoned the land till they descended the coast by hurricane. Unfazed, they left the masses in ghosts. So we blazing in flames and dangerous. Thank you.
That boy Prophet came through with the flow. That boy Prophet came through with the flow. Snap it up, y'all. Snap it up. I would say some stuff about Prophet, but I ain't trying to, sway the judges to feel any kind of way. But I'm gonna just say that was amazing. The line that stood out to me is, I know people doing felonies to make it through the week. That's straight fire. We got 2 more poets left. Before we hop into those 2 poets, I just got a really big announcement. Y'all, we got a $200 donation. I'm going to say that one time. Somebody donated $200 to the GoFundMe. I don't even know your name, but wherever you are, I hope you having a great year, week. I hope that your cats get 9 extra lives. I hope that your hair is extra on fleek. We don't even say on fleek no more, but I hope it's on fleek. Thank you so much. If you want to contribute to the work that we do, if you want to make sure that we keep paying amazing features like Anita D to do these features and to lead these workshops and to pay our winners, make sure you head over to that GoFundMe. That is the GoFundMe. Make sure you head over to that GoFundMe.com/F/support-rich-oak. That was a lot. If you just look up GoFundMe, RichOak, Google will tell you where to go. Make sure you follow the social medias. It will tell you everything you need to know. We got 2 more poets left tonight. On deck from the middle and high school team. The last poet that you will hear tonight is Brianna. That is on deck. But coming to the stage right now, the last elementary level poet that you will hear, I want y'all to make maximum noise. I want y'all to turn up. If you love what the youth have been saying, I want y'all to show love to this poet. Y'all make some noise for Hannah.
Mic check.
Love the background.
We can hear you.
Mic check.
We can hear you.
All right. The world around me is beautiful. The cherry blossoms are blooming. The air smells like pine needles and the grass is trimmed ever so neatly. There are birds in the air. Pollution gets atrocious. The birds are falling down. I feel like I might drown. The star's brightness gets weakness. My world is burning within. The ingot
skipped you. Send him a message. Tell me skipped you. That guy went.
Is everything okay? We heard somebody talking. Somebody was talking about being skipped. Hannah, are you still able to go? Berkeley crew, is it okay if we move over to Brianna and then check in with Hannah to see if Hannah could go again?
Yeah, that's okay.
All right, sweet. So hopefully everything's okay on Hannah's side. we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna switch this last order, because we like to reverse. So coming to the stage right now from the high school and middle school team, we're gonna have Brianna. Make sure that y'all still show that love. Make sure y'all still turn up. So snap it up, make some noise for Brianna.
Mic check.
We can hear you.
Okay. Things I wanted to say but never said to the gringo in the BART station. To the man who called me out a name in the Civic Center BART station, I'd like to think it's because you've never encountered such greatness in your presence, that I am far more than someone like you could ever chew and digest easily. But that's not what you saw. Instead, you only recognized me as target. Any day of the week, I have a voice loud enough to swallow any train car whole, but today, I'm scared that the wrong words will be the reason why I don't go home tonight. To the man in the BART station, you told me to go back to Mexico, but I was born 20 blocks away on Valencia and Cesar Chavez. You told me I don't belong here when I hold these calles to my birth certificate. You called me a wetback in a train station, and a country that's supposed to protect my unalienable rights turns around and calls me alien. To the man in the BART station, I will admit, every time that I have tried writing this poem, tears will fill the corners of my eyes, and the words get caught in my throat, and the things you said play again and again, and any day of the week. I have a voice loud enough to swallow any train car whole, but when I went home, I was un toro. I could only see red. I was so mad. I told mi madre I wanted to take self-defense classes, and she said, mija, you don't need self-defense classes when brown people have been fighting for the last century. Don't need to throw a punch when just existing as a brown woman is a testament to my people's ability to survive. Don't need to have muscles when I carry the weight of 18,000 plus families being held in cages at the border. And every day, yo gracias a Dios, I'm not one of them. To the man in the train station, I have a mean walk, a chingona type of walk. This puto has me messed up type of walk. I come from agricultoros and healers, pastors and preachers, murals on 16th and Mission Cerepe, calendulas in El Jardín, aguas frescas, callous fingers and guitar strings, chicanos in Iboricuas coffee, work, sweat, loudmouth, sun-kissed people that were never weak for a single second because I stand before you to prove it. I am land that they forgot to conquer. I'm Santeria that was practiced in silence. I'm every herb in the medicine bowl. I'm an Aztec warrior that a colonizer could not kill. To the man who called me out a name in the Civic Center BART station. If I ever cross paths with you again, I will not be as forgiving as the last time. I hope you remember, no estoy hecho de vidrio. I am not made of glass, and I do not break that easily. Thank you.
Oh, that was amazing, y'all. That was amazing. The line that stood out to me is, I'm land they forgot to conquer, but there were so many incredible lines going in there. On deck, we got the scores, figuring out who won this little shindig. I hope that you guys really enjoyed tonight. But coming back to the stage, this poet is so amazing. They gave y'all a little teaser, and then they walked away, got some water, got themselves right, and came back to give you the rest of the piece. Without further ado, y'all, make sure that y'all make some noise, support the youth, and clap it up for Hannah!
Let's go.
The world around me is beautiful. The cherry blossoms are blooming. The air smells like pine needles. The grass is trimmed ever so neatly. There are birds in the air. Pollution gets atrocious. The birds are falling down. I feel like I might drown. The star's brightness gets weaker. My world is burning within. My anger grows larger. Pollution is no longer lingering. My eyes burn with fury. The world no longer seems fine. Then the cherry blossom blooms. Its beautiful petals fall to the ground. Fills the world, the black and white world, with color again. I walk to the cherry blossom tree. A blossom falls into my palms. I stare at it as my mind fills with wonders. I feel better. I sit by the cherry blossom tree, and the world fills with color. And eventually, I help others bloom.
Nice! Ooh, look at that!
Let's go. Let's go,
y'all. That's right, poets. Hype up them other poets. The line that I love was, then the cherry blossom blooms, and then at the end you said it fills the world with color again, hoping other cherry blossoms bloom. I love it, y'all. I love it. So while Chardonnay does some math and figure out who won this shindig, I just want to take a quick second to shout out some other shows and things that are happening out and about. So make sure you follow Oakland Slam at Oakland Slam. We do slams every third Tuesday. Currently they're on hiatus though. They will be back May 18th. Berkeley Slam every Wednesday. They will be back May 5th. And also the Alchemy Open Mic, and they will be back May 1st. So don't worry, even though they're all on hiatus, taking some much needed break, you can still show up to the incredible writing workshops hosted by Anita D, right? The feature who came through and blew the roof off the place while still being pregnant. She's leading writing workshops all month. So this month, during the National Poetry Writing Month, show up, right? The writing workshops are free. Donations are encouraged, but they're also free. If they have to be for you. So you can show up, you can write some poems, and then next month you can head back to all the slams that we did, and then you know, all the slams that are going to be happening, all the slams coming off a hiatus, and you could also spit some fire. Shout out to Santa Cruz Word Church, which is also on hiatus right now. Make sure that you look them up at Legendary Collective on Instagram. It's community, y'all, that keeps us together. The poets that you see tonight, they probably perform at other slams. So if you like the work, check out other slams, because there might be some of the same poets, might be some different poets. You know, there's gonna be all different kind of flavors tonight. Also, shout out to Bay Area Creative, our partner for the night, for coming through and, you know, teaching the incredible youth about the gift of spoken word poetry. Again, if you want to check out the national writing workshops, check out bayareacreative.org. Earlier, I messed up and said .com. It is bayareacreative.org. Hop over there, see the incredible work that we do in schools, figure out how you could also join the national writing workshops. And yeah, y'all, tonight was incredible. Like I said, I'm incredibly, incredibly blown away. I don't know what I was doing when I was the youth age. I was playing video games. I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh cards. My mama was catching me stealing, and it wasn't good. It wasn't good. But y'all are over here spitting truth, spitting facts. I want y'all to know that I see every last one of y'all, and I am so incredibly looking forward to the things that you have to do in the future. By the time you get my age, by the time you get Patrick's age, y'all are going to be so much better poets than us. In fact, you already are, because you're writing from the heart. You're writing things that you're not afraid to write about. You're sharing your incredible, incredible, incredible message with the world. So y'all, that was our show. We still have to announce the winners. The scores are coming in. So I just want y'all to stay a little bit longer. I also want to shout out the GoFundMe one more time. Make sure you click the linktree.com/RichOak. That will tell you everything that's going on. Everything that's going on. The GoFundMes, the writing workshops, the poetry slams, the open mic, because there's a lot of stuff that's going on. Without further ado, are you guys ready to hear the scores? I can't hear you at your house, but here's what I want you to do. I want y'all to start beating, right? I want y'all to get a drum roll. In first place, actually, let's take it from backwards. Let's take it backwards. Let's get that drum roll one more time. Let's get that drum roll. In fourth place, with an incredible score of "It Doesn't Matter Because the Points is the Poetry." Give it up for the middle and high school team. Clap it up, y'all. We are so proud of y'all for coming through, In third place, with the score of "It Does Not Matter Because the Point is the Poetry," I want y'all to make some noise for the Spark coaches. Clap it up, y'all. We are so proud of y'all. Thank y'all for teaching the youth. Thank y'all for coming through and killing it. In second place, drum roll, with the score of "It Does Not Matter Because the Point is the Poetry," give it up for the elementary school team. That means in first place, we got FDK taking it home tonight, y'all. But clap it up. Everybody won. Everybody got to be a part of this community. Everybody got to listen to some amazing, incredible poems. And I hope that you all feel inspired as I feel inspired. So happy National Poetry Writing Month. Make sure that you join those RichOak Make Gold writing workshops. So that way Anita D can teach you something. That's everything that I got to say on my end. Thank you all so much for coming out tonight. First place, FDK took it. Thank you so much. My name is Jamie, AKA Ryan Seacrest, and I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.